parties?
I'll explain that. I try to. One thing is, you see, we have the Political Parties Act gives structures of a political party. As a people, we want to believe those people in those positions. We have the chair, we have the vice chair, we have the secretary general, we have the treasurer, we have all these people. But we want to believe what really kills other parties is that these people tend to wake up in the morning and become demagogues just because you are the chair of a political party. You want to walk around telling everybody, I'm the chair of the political party. You cannot.
The party leader.
You are party leader. In fact, one of the things we don't advocate for is that position of a party leader, because we have experience that these party leaders are the ones who are really suffocating the place of other people in the party. As a party, we have a chairman. Our chairman is called Frederick Kadzo Mnuku. He's currently in the US doing his master's. We have the SG. The SG is called Paula Member, who is a member of Yambo, who is a student, by the way, doing a 5th-year engineering student. And those are the things that really motivates us. Not don't wake up in the morning saying you are a party leader so that people start fearing you or treating you as a demigod. So these people, they're just vision bearers, me included. We're just vision bearers. We're not really that. You want to create a movement, a movement of young, like-minded individuals who are able to really advocate for particular kind of agendas. That is our motivation. And in terms of structures, our structures are guided by the Political Parties Act. And this trickle down to the counties. In the 41, actually, we are present in 46 counties.
46 counties,
yes.
Out of 47.
Out of 47. In those counties, we already have structures. And some of the structures, actually, in most of the counties, we are actually up to the ward level. And that's what really motivates us. And in the near future, you'll see a number of things rolling out. We are rolling out, we are launching our website in the next 2 weeks. We're also launching an app, more so for the young people, to be able to really interact well through the social media. We'll have a number of programs that we think that there'll be a number of trainings, more so for the party members. We're also launching. We'll have an official launch in April of the party in terms of what's really, the agenda and what it really stands for. We're also having a number of guests. We're having Malema come in.
Oh, amazing.
We have a number of guests.
John Malema from South Africa.
We are thinking of bringing young leaders across the globe to be able to, just motivate young people that you can do it. You don't need to really, you don't need to be worried about what tomorrow holds. You can wake up and come on board. We are looking up to Bobby Wine. Why not? Bobby Wine is challenging an oligarch. Probably that is the same thinking we should really employ. In terms of ideas, we don't want to go to challenge you in terms of bullets. No. We want to challenge you in such a forum. Share with us your vision about economy. Share with us your vision about agriculture. Make agriculture, good for young people. Make it affordable. Create industries. These young people need to be able to be absorbed in industries. Don't give us money. Don't give us money per se, but create an enabling environment that today you can be able to do your maize in Trans Nzoia and have a factory in Trans Nzoia, not bringing maize all the way from Trans Nzoia to come and process it in Thika. You get? Yet the people in Trans Nzoia themselves have no job. Why have fish fillet all the way from Kisumu? Bringing it to Thika to
come and process
it. Why can't you be able to process the same in Kisumu to create more jobs? Export the final product so that you create a way to create jobs for our people. What motivates us is economic emancipation. That is what is key. The issues of land. You think people are not able to afford it. What can we do as a people? Just create an enabling environment for people to make money, they'll be able to buy land. In terms of planning, we want to engage the government in terms of those kind of agendas, Gerald. Yeah.
And so, why do you think? Why do you think young people look at politics as a job? And that's what we see a lot of wanaenda kutumia kwa heckling, wameweka kwa basi, mnapeleka mahali fulani, wamepigwa na siasa fulani.
Unemployment.
You know, why do young people look at politics as a source of income? Even when you look, there's someone who was telling me the biggest challenge in young parties, or parties that are run by young people, is that every time a young person sees a political vehicle, they look at it as a source of income. Like tukae kwa hii chama so that we make money from it. And I quite like the fact that you've separated what you do for a living, what puts bread on your table, and what you do is politics. Why do you think young people wanaonanga kama siasa ni mahali pa kwenda kula pesa?
The first thing is the agenda. The second thing is, when you wake up in the morning, what do you really want to achieve when you're doing anything? Most of the young people are looking at politics as a way to make quick money. And what separates NRA from that is that we want young people to get jobs. So that, don't look at politics as a job. Politics cannot be a job. Politics is a by the way. You do it at your free time, engage in it at your free time, and be able to make your meaningful contribution in that. So I think the first thing is that, assuming we give young people got jobs in this country, I can assure you the interest in terms of politics will really subside. So majorly, we are looking at politics as a tool for social transformation, not as a tool for enrichment. Once you're able to separate the two, that politics is not for enrichment, but a tool of social transformation, then you'll be able to really do well. Secondly, we also want to encourage young people who really aspire to join politics to really put a great focus on their career, so that, assuming politics does not work, you should have a fallback plan. That is one. Two, and one of the things we shall be doing under the NRA Leadership Training Institute is to train people on entrepreneurship. Make them think, make them think that you can do something else, but politics, engage in it to transform the society, because this is the community you live in. But you must be able to engage in gainful, employment, if that is one. You must be able to engage in business to be able to sustain your life, because politics is for a season. It's for a season in terms of, if you're thinking from a political perspective. But your life will be there, with or without politics. Assuming you woke up today and got an accident and you're a politician, then you're bedridden for a while. What will happen? You need your career. You need to empower yourself. In terms of planning, you've seen people join politics, and politics is a very bad game. Politics can make you poor than, other people think it can make you rich, but to others, to majority of the people in this country, it has made them poorer, right? So we want to approach it from a knowledge base, that the people engaged in politics should be and must be able to really be able to look at it as a tool of social transformation and not as a tool of enrichment. If you want to enrich yourself, why don't you engage in business? Why can't you, for example, do your tenders? Why can't you start factories? Why can't you go to Europe, buy some things that we need as a country, come and sell them here? I think that is where probably you go wrong. If you want to do politics, look at it as a tool of societal change and social transformation, Gerald.
Okay. All right. That's incredible. And I'll be looking forward to see what NRA is going to do differently. We look forward to working with you as well to try and drive a conversation from that point of view so we can have a better nation. Now, what do you think is the state of politics in this country?
The state of politics is that we have what the French Revolution had. We have a social antagonism between the so-called the poor versus the rich. And what happened in the French Revolution, I'm seeing it happen because Louis XVI came out as a weak leader because he was not able to tackle the issues of economic hardships of the people of the French. What is happening right now in terms of the state of our politics is that we're having a reincarnation of those issues that affected the French Revolution. The issues of economic hardship, the issues of the tax system, the issues of unemployment, the issues of just mismanagement of national resource or government resources. That is the state of our politics. And to salvage this country from that quagmire, we need to think in two dimensions. What really is causing the divide between the rich and the poor? Then it was the monarchy and the nobilities in the French Revolution. What caused that? And as a country, how can we wake up and how can we rise above that? The only way to rise above that is to create economic emancipation and equality in terms of access to opportunities, in terms of access to resources, in terms of access to the basic needs. We are talking, for example, I'll give an example of the Equalization Fund. In the last 1 year, that fund has not even worked. How do you expect a young man from Turkana who was really expecting to have water from the Equalization Fund to feel about it? Mm-hmm. How will you expect a young man from Masai, from Kajiado and Tulele, who was not able to access water, who is depending on the Equalization Fund to really work? And the thing is, let us create, as a country, let us grow our economy. I'll give you another example, Gerald. As a country, we have a budget estimate of 3 trillion. We have a tax projection of 1.6 trillion. Majority of our debts have matured, and we are supposed to start paying those debts from this year. Close to 900 billion shillings of our 1.6 trillion budget is going to pay debts. Are we safe as a country that we are surviving on less than 1 trillion shillings in terms of our revenue earning? For example, I'll give you another thought. The budget of TSC is 490 billion. The budget of Kenya is 200 billion shillings. Where are you getting this money? Yet, you have exhausted our monies in terms of, our revenue projections. The answer is we are borrowing. And when we are borrowing today, me and you in a population of 48 million people, we are going to suffer. The fact of the matter is any average Kenyan in this country owes close to 300,000 Kenyan shillings to the foreign, the commercial loans. The issue is the people in leadership do not really prioritize us. And that's where we come in as an NRA. We're asking ourselves, why borrow at 70 years? Does it mean you don't care about us? It means probably you are ready to go, assuming the forces of nature act in one way or another. Then when you go, whom are you leaving the debts to? Your family is okay, but we, majority poor and young people and women and people with disability, have no option. By the time you leave, we are owing the whole world a big portion of money. I'll give you another thing. We are also, dismayed that we already have a debt ceiling of 8 trillion. Mm-hmm. But the National Assembly, this week, has received a bill to be able to increase the debt ceiling to 12 trillion. I think that should worry you, Gerald, because we are borrowing to pay for the recurrent expenditure. We are borrowing to pay teachers. We are borrowing to pay the army. I think that is what should really be our discourse. And I want to ask members of parliament to reject that bill, because that bill does not mean well even for themselves. And anytime you increase a debt ceiling with more than 4 trillion, it means we'll not be able to pay, first of all, unless we get some debt suspension. And I think the level of corruption in this country is also worrying, Gerald. Worrying in the sense that those in leadership use the borrowing avenue, the borrowing model of corruption. So today they'll tell you have increased the debt ceiling. They go and borrow, but as they borrow, they put their cuts in the borrowing. So we get yourself, we will have best infrastructure, but no money. Any money, the taxation regimes will increase, the economy will shrink, and that is worrying me as a young man, probably just starting my family. It's worrying me that what will happen thereafter. So let us look at key issues. Let us look at agriculture from a point of reason. Let us ask ourselves, why does countries that probably are poorer, Botswana today, an ASAL country, is able to produce maize and selling it to Lesotho, is able to export beef? That should be a question. What are they doing different? I can also tell you, Gerald, that they used the policies from Kenya as their foundation of restructuring under Ian Hammer to restructure the agriculture policy. We have the best policies, but what we lack is the political goodwill.
Political goodwill.
Another thing is, I'll give you an example. What makes it difficult? Why is the cost of production, more so in the agricultural sector, very high? That today a bag of maize being sold at NCPB in Eldoret or Kitale is 3,300. A same bag of maize from Malawi through Uganda to Kenya is 2,500 shillings. What is Malawi, a poor country, doing that we're not doing? And that should be our conversation as a country. Forget about this, this magic. Forget about this, whatever the drama. The melodrama is not necessary anymore. With a population that is educated, let us think of change in terms of skills. The people we are taking to TVET, where are they going to after the TVET education? Why can't we take them to learn skills in other places? Why can't we be able to, empower our special economic zones? We already have the Dongokundu bypass. We have all the way to Voi, to Taveta. Why can't we make that a very strong economic zone? We have Busia, for example, the border counties. Why can't we have dry ports in border counties in Busia, Namanga, all the way to Elwak, all the way to Lodwar? Why can't we have dry ports in those areas? In the sense that the assembling of, for example, machineries that are basically used for export in those countries, why can't we be able to assemble them in those dry ports? Come up with economic zones that will create jobs. China now is growing differently. China is growing in the sense that they're now bringing their companies to Africa because of the cost of production. It's becoming cheaper to do it in Africa. But what we are lacking is goodwill, political goodwill, and the skills. We should, as a country, invest so much in terms of a foreign direct investment by encouraging those people, the investors, to come and invest around, to invest in the country, to invest in those special economic zones, to have an example of Konza, which is coming up very well. We must give the government credit for that. But let us have a number of Konza cities across the country. Let us create a Silicon Valley. Let us create an industrial, a Beijing kind of estate, a particular place. Vietnam went through the same. So we're not different. We can do it. What we just lack is the political leadership and goodwill. And that's what basically ails this country. We just need a leadership that, first of all, appreciates what ails us and appreciates that we don't need political liberation anymore. We are a multi-party state. What we need is basically an economic emancipation narrative. And if you can be able to push that narrative further, if you can be able to come with concrete ideas, then we'll be able to let us get examples. Let us empower the smallholder farmer at the grassroots level. Let us empower the small fisherman that he gets value for his money. Remove the middlemen from the business. Why can the government take up the marketing of the agri-produces so that you'll be able to make good money? The farmers are able to make good money from their work.
All right. There's something you mentioned. You said that Kenya has an abundance of policies and laws. You're saying this at a point where you're saying what is lacking actually is political goodwill. You're making this statement at a point where the country is belaboring, a situation where we are sitting and some people are telling us that the only solution that this country needs is the change of laws so that it can move from third world to first world. You're talking about considerable changes. You're talking about changing laws again to progress the country by the same people, the same politicians, the same class of people who are operating right now. When you have the same issues, what's your feeling, especially as a young person? We are telling young people that we need a constitutional change to pay your help, to make manufacturing easy. I mean, what's your general feeling as a young person?
I think that's whatever is happening is a political discourse that has no relationship with the wishes and of the majority of this of the people in this country. I can also assure you that why don't you need to pay help You need to pay help, because when you pay help, you'll help people. The only thing that you need to do to be able to pay help, for example, you just need a job. Most of Kenyans are willing to pay the help loan, but the issue is that they have no job. Why do you need a tax holiday? To jumpstart your life as an entrepreneur. You don't need a tax holiday as a young person. You need opportunities. If you're able to trade and do your business, you don't need a tax holiday for that matter. Secondly, why do we legislate everything? Why do we allow that kind of legislation to everything and legislate everything? That really hurts the growth of our country. And as young people, I think whatever is important is the ability to make money from the economy and the ability to think as a global citizen. Don't look at Nandi or Uasin Gishu or whichever place, Kericho, as probably the only place you can make your life. Look at life from a different perspective. Where else can you go as a young person? Can we be able to have trade tasks? I'll give an example. Trade tasks in Taiwan, and a Samsung phone is made in Taiwan. Parts of the same phone are made in Thailand. So be able to develop the skills from different places and be able to really anchor yourself around those areas. So we have to stop thinking about Kenya as a landlocked place. You have to look at opportunities. Getting those opportunities, you need the right skills, and probably we have the right education. We just need exposure for that matter. If you're able to have a right exposure, have right education, have right, everything right, we'll be able to get more opportunities. But to legislate about most of the things that are legislating at this moment in time, they add no value. You're telling somebody today that we're going to, have 35% go to the counties, yet we are not able to take 15%. Are we foolish to believe that? Why do we need to legislate that? Why can't we grow the economy first? Allow us to have money, allow us to have a tax projection of 3 trillion shillings, then be able to go backwards, right? Why can't we say, for example, why can't we legislate that every county in this county for that matter, needs to have 2 factories? That is progressive legislation for that matter, if that is, they want to legislate everything. But the kind of legislation I'm seeing, actually the entire discourse around the BBI, if I get you right, is basically about personalities who don't have no interest whatsoever with the interest of the people. And that's why, as a party, we hold the opinion that we need to have continuous discourse on the pertinent issues or the germane issues that within the BBI discourse that really affects the young people. Create jobs. And how do you create jobs? You don't create jobs by giving tax holidays. Create jobs by having good
An enabling
environment for that matter. That is our foundation. Yes.
Oh, and that's the obsession with politicians, is that they always imagine that every time we have a problem, we need to change the constitution. And the question is, the basis of every country is its constitution. And America has the oldest constitution, I think, if I could be wrong. And you can almost count the number of times it has been changed. And the constitution belongs to the people. In the preamble of our constitution, it says we, the people. It gives power to the people. When the thing that you're seeing, the activities that are going on in the country, is that the county assemblies have now been discussing the Bill 2020, and there has been some level of things, illegality in the way the county assemblies are being coerced to approve the document. And you find that people are approving and rejecting without the input of the public. And I believe that the core of every constitutional change is the people. Public participation. Where does it put you as a young person who wants to participate in the affairs of its nation, the shaping of a destiny? And you've mentioned it quite rightfully that this nation is driven mostly by the old population who are actually transiting, who are leaving us. And we've not given the young people who actually own the country, who have more time in the country, to be part of the conversation in where it should be taken. As the county governments break their legs to reject or to approve the BBI report, where does it put you at? As a citizen who wants your voice to be felt, and as a young leader as well, who wants to be part of the shaping of the nation?
I think my biggest worry is that we are not really in a position to have a conversation. Even at the county level, how can a bill be passed in 30 minutes? Then you wake up, walk around, say you are a leader. Such kind of people should be genuinely be ashamed, because they have really mortgaged our citizenship, our right to public participation. Two, as county leaders at the county level, what mechanisms have they put in place to interrogate the benefits of the bill to their people? Because they just represent, they're custodians of the custodians of the will of the people. I think we've failed. The counties have failed us because they have not been able to objectively interrogate those bills in relation, the constitutional amendment bill in relation to the needs of their county members. If we be able to interrogate that in that perspective, ask, for example, how will the resources be distributed to this county in terms of that 5%? Interrogate the basis of that 35%. How much will come to your county? If you ask majority of the members of the assembly, they have no clue. If you ask them what is the basis of you passing this bill or rejecting it, they will tell you our political godfathers have said so. So I think we have to wake up from that slumber, because we need a leadership. And that's generally what I said, NRA shall engage in training of leaders on their roles, because I believe probably that is where we go wrong. Secondly, let these personalities, the personality cults that we have built, the fiefdoms, somebody wakes up because he controls a particular county assembly. He even makes them not reason on their own, and they have been forced to mortgage their thinking. That, to solve that problem, we need to remove personalities from politics and be able to say that, by the way, I support you as my leader, but I need to make my decision because I represent the people, not making a decision on the basis and the foundation of the wills of the political agenda of your leader. So you reject because you support a particular leader, you pass it in 30 minutes because you support a particular leader, and the state coercion also does not make sense. Why can't you allow people to reason? The speed on the urgency of this bill, what is so urgent? And as a country, we should also ask ourselves, is it that the timing, is it right? Probably, that is, are we spending the IBC has been allocated about 14.5 billion shillings. Assuming you pump 14.5 billion shillings in the industries that I'm talking about today, how many jobs can it create?
A lot.
So, as we think through and appreciate the need, probably the political need of a referendum and the amendment, but let us ask ourselves, with the COVID, the ravaging COVID that has had to our economy, with the issues that really affect us, is it the right time? Can't we do it probably with the election? That is probably some of the things we should think about. Yeah. Is 14 billion shillings and the time wastage. Remember, anytime you go to an election, the economy, the stock exchange stops working. Everything goes at standstill. What we really need to think about is timing, one, and the end result, the end game for these political leaders. And assuming we needed just to, reading the entire constitutional amendment bill, you'll really speak out that probably the main issue is the executive. And if that is the main issue, why can't we be patient and just do it at election time? These other issues are just by the way. If you ask about the constituencies, are all given from a political prism. I was sharing with somebody, I was telling him a constituency called Kandui. Kandui constituency has a voter population or a number of voters at about 140,000 members, voters. Why can't it have another constituency? For example, if you're talking about if it's the constituency, it's about the people. Yes. Why is it that these constituencies that you're talking about are concentrated in a particular region? It's because they are meant to hoodwink leaders and individuals from this region to be able to support. So, the logic of the amendment, the logic of as much as it has a good foundation to bring peace, and stability and cohesion in the country. I think some of the things that have been put there are basically to hoodwink. If you ask the young people, the youth commission that has come up, the youth commission in terms of the proposed youth commission, I think you ask me today how those commissioners will be appointed, you'll be shocked. you will be shocked. I'm sure you will see the same faces,
Same old
faces.
faces.
Yes, and then
It will be another reward scheme
It's
for
be another
politicians.
reward